Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Tim, and we're gonna do a little recap about my most recent outing for some largemouth bass here in central Iowa. I once again went to probably my favorite lake here in central Iowa in hopes of catching some early fall largemouth. Based on like how the temperatures have been in the evenings and whatnot, the fish definitely seemed to be behaving like early fall bass. So you see a lot of stuff on the internet about where bass typically migrate and go for lakes that have shad in them, but I don't think this lake has any shad or any sort of bait fish like that. So definitely a different beast in its own. It honestly treated me that way for the first 2.5 hours of the day. I didn't catch anything from like 6:30 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. I was pretty stumped, throwing a lot of baits. Water temperatures were in the low 70s. I tried a crankbait, tried a swim jig, tried flipping, and I didn't catch anything. And I tried a bunch of different spots. So the cloud cover kind of hung around for quite a while. So I decided to finally just put on a shallow diving crankbait, a little Strike King 1.5 chartreuse, and just put my head down and start fishing some cover. So after I tied on that crankbait, I quickly started getting some bites in some of the shallow timber and stumps that this lake offers. So my overall findings for the day would say that the fish are not really in the back of the arms of the creeks, and they're also not really on the main lake on the offshore structure. I tried both. I tried in the back of some creeks, tried on the offshore structure, but didn't get a single bite. It seemed to be kind of that mid-depth structure that was actually holding the fish. Most of the fish were anywhere from like 2 feet of water down to 5 or 6. Like I didn't catch anything that was crazy deeper than that, but it definitely seemed to be some of the key cover that was either halfway back into the fingerlings or arms or about halfway off the main lake. If you were too far in one end or the other, you didn't really seem to find any fish. So I wish I could have found another big group of fish like I found 3 weeks ago, because all my fish today were basically by themselves or with one other fish or 2 other fish, but no big groups. But I caught some pretty good ones for this lake. My best 5 ended up being 14.5 pounds. And for this lake, that's pretty good, honestly, a little below a 3-pound average. The key baits, as you kind of saw in the footage, would be the Strike King 1.5 square bill. A lot of people use this one. This is one that Kevin Van Dam's won a bunch of money on. The water was a little off-colored, but that chartreuse one is tough to beat. A lot of people throw it. It's a silent crankbait, by the way, so extra stealthy. And then once the sun kind of came out, in the afternoon, I just started flipping around a little finesse jig. I think this is a 3/8 ounce. I think it's a War Eagle or something like that, but got a little Berkeley chigger crawl here on the back with the pinchers dyed orange. But 2 basic setups, the crankbait, the jig. If I only had those 2 rods in the boat today, I would have done fine. I guess one of my key takeaways from the video is this time of the year when the fish are starting to transition to their fall patterns, whatever those look like, you got to be covering water. If I would have kept fishing slow and kept fishing places that I've caught them in the past, I probably wouldn't have caught very many at all. So experimenting, trying new water, focusing on cover, and just capitalizing on those bites you have definitely is the way to go. There we go. Finally. There's a decent one. Keeper number 2. All right. He's kind of pretty. He's got some spots on him. What the heck? There's a couple in here, aren't there? Smoked it. Get out of there. That's a good one. behind the tree. I don't know how big he is, but he is behind the tree. It's a decent one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a nice one. Cool bite. My line's all messed up. Got him. That was flipping sweet behind the tree. Nice looking bass. All right. Finally. It's a nice one. Come here. There we go. All right. There was one in there. A nice one. It's a goal. Just about to leave that spot. All right. There was one in there. How big are you? It's a decent one again. All right. Another call. It's a good one. Yep. That's all we need. That's a good one. That's a nice one. Yes, sir. That's a good one. That's a 3. All right. Might be a call, I don't know. TBH. Yeah, there'd be one in there. That's a good fish. That's a good one. Right in the weeds. Choked it. There's a good one. Nice bass. You might help. Choke. There's a good one. So yeah, an awesome day on the water. In terms of what's happening next for me, the club I'm in here in central Iowa, we have one more bass tournament this weekend at a small lake I've never been to before, so that'll definitely be an adventure of its own. I'll try to get some footage on Saturday and post the video shortly after, but yeah, it's been a fun year and looking forward to some good fall fishing, and hopefully we can figure things out during the tournament. So I appreciate you watching, guys. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you just enjoyed the footage, because I definitely had fun putting it together like always. Looking forward to seeing you guys again in the future.